Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Smart Outsourcing Talks. And today we have a very multi-talented personality, Jeanne Hardy, and we are going to speak on why firms avoid cash conversations. So Jeanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks for the
Yeah.
invitation.
Yeah. So before we go ahead, Jean, let me just give your introduction to the viewers today. Um, so friends, Jean is a very multi-talented, multi-dimensional personality. From scaling high-growth accounting operations to now, she has co-founded Levy, a practice management software. So Jean is now helping finance teams rethink how finance teams operate. Jeanne has also been the founder and CEO of a Creative Business Incorporation, which is an accounting firm from the past 2 decades. What makes her story stand out is she didn't come up through a traditional accounting path. Her background spans into a very different area. She comes from fine arts, and through her own journey as an entrepreneur, she saw how deeply a lack of financial clarity holds business back. Especially a creative business and a service-driven ones. And that realization shaped everything since then. Whatever she has built till now. Okay. Over the last 2 decades, Jeanne has helped companies scale with intention, not just by fixing numbers, but by improving how their work actually gets done. Her firm has earned a national recognition. She is a Forbes Business Council member, an award winning leader in accounting and finance, and a trusted voice on the topics like leadership, capacity, burnout, sustainable growth, cash conversations, of course. What I really admire about you, Jean, is your ability to blend financial discipline with human insights. You talk openly about complexity, workload, and why firms need better systems, just not a harder working people. So, Jean, welcome to Smart Outsourcing Talks, and I am really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for that really fantastic introduction.
And if I have missed out anything, you may add something. How do you spend your time between Levy and your accounting firm?
Yeah. Well, how I spend my time between the two, it really depends. Creative business has been around for 20 years, and the management team there is really fantastic. So I'm very blessed to be able to jump over to Levy and start a new company and know that, they're doing a fantastic job running creative business. And, of course, I have my clients that I've been with for 20 plus years, and I do like to stay in touch with them and still be their advisor. But yeah, it's a whole new era for creative business and for myself.
Yeah. So, what is the kind of clients that you have in creative business? And how big is the firm?
So we have about 16 people. It's actually
Hmm.
interesting because we've grown every year. So we're bigger than we've ever been, but we actually have less people,
People.
and that is entirely due to technology, using Levy, our
Hmm.
practice management tool, and
Hmm.
visibility. It was a lot of learning over the last decade of
Hmm.
how to be able to deliver like high impact customer
Hmm.
service,
Hmm.
um, and still maintain like calm and clarity with the team. Because for me, the most important thing for the firm is that the team
Hmm.
members have a lot of space and time to be able to really get into it with their clients
Hmm.
and really be proactive. And what I learned over the years is that if they're buried in the work, or even managing
Hmm.
other direct reports
Hmm.
without consistent visibility,
Sure.
we're missing out on their ability to really lead those clients.
Hmm.
And that's
Hmm.
what it's
Sure.
all about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what made you start Levy? I mean, what was the genesis?
So we were growing, and it was a very painful.
Hmm.
I was really concerned about the firm. Actually, it was a time when a lot of our clients, we had started shifting to these point solution tech
Hmm.
stack.
Hmm.
A lot of fast growth companies were adopting 10, 15 different softwares to run their business, and being,
Hmm.
the outsourced accounting side, we are accessing a lot of that, and it just
Hmm.
became really difficult to learn all those systems, to
Hmm.
manage the data, the data
Hmm.
accuracy, and it was
Hmm.
really starting to
Hmm.
my team was extremely stressed about working across all these different companies and systems. And
Hmm.
so it felt like, when we were growing, it felt like it was like 3 steps forward and 2 steps back every
Hmm.
time. And it
Yeah.
was this like loss of visibility when you're
Hmm.
growing and when you're
Hmm.
scaling. People are working deeply in different types of
Hmm.
systems. I couldn't see I couldn't see risk the way that we can now, or before. It was
Hmm.
easier to see where the risk was across
Hmm.
the firm, so that we
Hmm.
could mitigate it. But
Hmm.
at that time, because we were growing so quickly and we were
Hmm.
using so much technology,
Hmm. Hmm.
it was impossible to see
Hmm.
where
Sure.
there was risk. And so stuff
Hmm.
would start falling apart. We'd take out a bunch of clients, and then
Hmm.
there would be, things would start to like break on the edges.
Hmm.
So that got us thinking, this is a technology problem, so we need a
Sure.
technology solution. And that sort
Hmm.
of led down this kind of rabbit hole of what can we use. We used a
Hmm.
bunch of accounting based solutions, and then we
Hmm.
used some general tools like
Hmm.
Monday and Asana,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
nothing really actually
Hmm.
surfaced the information we were looking for. It gave us that full
Hmm.
visibility. So
Hmm. Hmm.
we built Levy. That's
Yeah.
what we did.
Hmm.
And
Sure.
and by doing that,
Hmm.
we were able to get closer to what we needed to see,
Hmm.
in real time, consistently,
Hmm.
all throughout
Hmm.
the day. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it was a fun journey.
Yeah, that's great. And how many customers you have now on Levy?
We have about 200,
That's
and
fantastic.
we're
Yeah.
having a very
Yeah.
big year so far this year. So it's great.
Wow. That's cool. Okay. So coming to today's subject, about why firm avoids cash conversations, and I'm sure you have managed hundreds of clients and you have firms. So what's the real reason where the owners avoid talking about cash with the customers?
It's emotional, you know.
Hmm.
It's money for the most people,
Hmm.
it's an emotional topic. There's a lot, in there, baked in there.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Imposter syndrome. Am I charging too much? And they're going to say, you guys, that's too much for a firm like yours. Or are they going to say, are they going to try to negotiate with me? Some people are
Hmm.
really uncomfortable negotiating.
Hmm.
Um, it's emotional for people. They don't want to come off greedy, like they're,
Hmm.
asking for too much.
Hmm.
Um, I've heard firm owners say that they feel like if they charge too much, it's like they're at risk for the client thinking that they're over promising and under
Hmm.
delivering.
Hmm.
It's there's a lot there. There's a lot
So a
of
lot of
yeah, yeah.
yeah, a lot of background to it, a lot of burden to it.
And it's
Hmm.
not just at accounting firms. It's, even across any, I would say, any business owner, any small business owner is always doing that dance on,
Hmm.
what is the
Hmm.
proposal to come in at, and what do I feel comfortable pitching
Hmm.
as a price,
Hmm.
wondering, trying to gauge what the
Hmm.
reactions would be from the potential client. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's
So one is the price, but I've seen that people generally, even you know they feel very difficult to even converse about the money. It could be payment terms, it could be whatever. So, how do you overcome this?
Well, I think in the work that I've done with business owners, and then
Hmm.
also with my team, it's
Hmm.
you have to fundamentally believe in that
Hmm.
number, right?
Hmm.
You have to really
Hmm.
do the work behind that number
Hmm.
to make sure that uh, you're you know where that number comes from. You know
Hmm.
what your floor is, right?
Hmm.
Where like it can't be less than this, or that's going to hurt the
Hmm.
company.
Hmm.
Um, and where you want to take, how high you think you can go. And the way that I see it is that it's what the market will bear, right?
Hmm.
And I think people can get comfortable with negotiating. And I was given great advice a long time ago that price things and prepare to negotiate, because if they're
Hmm.
not negotiating with you, then you probably have charged too little,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
People are like, oh, that's great, okay, fine. Then
Hmm.
maybe you're undercharging, right? If you say, I want 5,000 a month, and they're like, oh, that's much higher than I thought it was going to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
Being able to start that conversation about why,
Hmm.
and actually understanding, well, I'm going to put a team of 3 on your account. We expect it to take this amount of hours. There's also seasonal time that's additional. There's, we account for the
Hmm.
regular course of business,
Hmm.
and build up to this number. It
Hmm.
allows you to, call us. We want your team to reach out to us, um,
Hmm.
without worrying about it.
Hmm.
That, you know, being confident in, this is how, building that matrix. This is how long it's going to take to service this client throughout the year. Where are the risks? Where are the agencies? Adding that
Hmm.
all in, and coming up with it's more of like a standard approach to pricing that you can
Hmm.
be really confident in the conversation defending.
Hmm. Is justification an issue? So they're not able to justify it.
I feel like that's just the kind of insecurity that I
Okay.
feel like you can justify it if
Hmm.
you if you if you're in business and you're providing these services,
Hmm.
doing that work behind the scenes, saying, this is what we think this client is going to take, and this is how
Hmm.
much profit we need to make. This is our percentage of profit that we're looking for
Hmm.
on every engagement.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think when a client says justify if you have actually done that work, you can turn
Hmm.
around and say, here's how we here's how we came up with this, without even having to disclose, costs or
Hmm.
anything like that. It's really like effort, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
professional services, it's effort.
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. So one is of course pricing, and how do you justify the pricing, and how do you show the value and stuff like that. Okay. Secondly, many of the times I've seen that even when you send an invoice and if customer doesn't pay, still owners deter to talk about money, right? So
Yeah.
they don't really. It's difficult for them to talk or enforce any kind of a terms and conditions. So um, what's your experience around this?
I think that's probably one of the most important aspects about a cash conversation, because a leader's um, hesitation
Hmm.
to enforce the agreement that they
Hmm.
signed up for,
Hmm.
that kind of hesitancy actually reverberates across the whole business. Um,
Hmm.
so, so really keeping in mind,
Hmm.
that, keeping in mind that how you as the owner um, navigate these cash conversations
Hmm.
really sets the tone. And in some cases, if there's too much hesitancy,
Hmm.
it does sort of create this sort of atmosphere of scarcity, right?
Hmm.
Like it actually doesn't know
Hmm.
what they can do, right? Like
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
things are. Why are we letting this client not
Hmm.
pay us, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, so I think again, transparency is really important in those situations. Knowing, like, as a
Hmm.
leader, the team's going to take note of how I talk about money, how I manage the engagements with the clients, and some
Hmm.
simple, you know, tricks for owners who are really don't want to have that conversation. It's changing the conversation around late payment to enforcing the agreement. Like,
Hmm.
this is the agreement that we had. Just returning to that engagement agreement. As the engagement agreement says, after 60 days, we can, be pencils down. I'd hate
Hmm.
to do that to you guys right
Hmm.
now, but
Hmm.
that's our policy across the firm.
Hmm.
And if you can have clear
Hmm.
practices and policies like that,
Hmm.
most of the time your team is actually going to step in and say that for you,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, that's a very common um, and critical kind of self-awareness. I think that
Hmm.
owners need to understand that it does
Hmm.
reverberate. They can't
Hmm.
actually have those conversations.
Sure. Yeah. And what do you think on the client side? Are clients going to um, brand you as a rude, or if you talk about the enforcing the terms, or what do the clients would think?
Well, I mean, they're business people,
Hmm.
so they need to get paid as well, right?
Hmm.
And they understand if their customers or clients don't
Hmm.
pay them,
Hmm.
then you know they'll go out of business.
Hmm.
It'll hurt their business. So customers who you're asking, like, when customers react negatively to the
Yeah.
pushback, and
Yeah.
sometimes they,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
that's a good moment to again
Hmm.
reinforce the agreement that they
Hmm.
signed. Another reason
Hmm.
why having engagement agreements is really important, even if it's a simple one pager, having them sign off on those engagement agreements is critical.
Hmm.
If you're suing somebody, the first thing
Hmm.
that judge will ask for will be, where's the engagement agreement?
Hmm.
Um, so just great practice for
Hmm.
younger firms to get into.
Hmm.
Um, but just being able to point to that and say, you signed, this is a business agreement between two, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
knowledgeable business owners.
Yeah. And as you said that it reverberates, so if the leadership is not able to act firmly, then it just becomes a loose system organization wide, right?
Yeah, you might not be able to. I mean, to be honest,
Hmm.
as you grow, you're not that close to it.
Hmm.
You might not know until
Hmm.
a client's like, 45 days late,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then how often you're you know tracking AR.
Hmm.
Um, Now there is a caveat, and
Hmm.
uh, just because of my experience, working with,
Hmm.
I also work with artists. It's like
Hmm.
near and dear to my heart. So there will
Hmm.
be, I may have clients that are going through a difficult time, and it's okay. I don't want them to not keep up with this
Hmm.
important work. Um,
Hmm.
so I might decide to pause collecting payments
Hmm.
until I know a little bit more about what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that is also needs to be really clearly explained to the team, especially the
Hmm.
team that's working on those clients, because
Hmm.
again, it's their effort, and they need to understand that that
Hmm.
effort is valued by the
Hmm. 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 And Jean, many times I've seen that owners also do not want to talk because they don't know. Because they are generally in the service business, what happens? They become close to the clients. Clients become your friend, so it becomes a friendly relationship. And suddenly now you want to enforce payment terms, right? Um, so basically they keep confusing between how much client friendly versus how much flexibility on the payment. How do you talk, and it becomes like a confusion, and then they are not able to act on it. So how do you solve this actually?
Well, I think if they're not paying you and they haven't actually told you that they're not paying, or saying like, "Hey, Jeanne, can I pay this a little bit late? Let me tell you what's going
Hmm.
on."
Hmm.
If they're just not paying and not communicating or ignoring,
Hmm.
they're probably not your friend.
Sure.
They're probably not a client that you've become friends with, because
Hmm.
in my experience, the folks that are you're closest to
Hmm.
in this type of work are
Hmm.
the ones that will respond if you send a personal email to them and say, "Hey, my accounting team just said that you're behind 3 months.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that. What's going
Hmm.
on?"
Hmm.
Um, I think going in positive and first,
Hmm.
being taking a
Hmm.
positive approach to starting a conversation and being the
Hmm.
first one, being proactive,
Hmm.
um, is extremely effective in getting
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
start moving in the right direction.
Hmm. I'm sure you have seen so many of your clients so nearly. So what's the internal dialogue going in them? I mean, do you have any stories to share?
Around what exactly?
So
Ask
they find it very difficult to talk about the payment. So what's that internal dialogue or conflict that is going? Should I speak? Should I not speak? Should I mail? Should I not mail? So
the
I'm sure
client.
you would. Yeah.
Again, when things get weird around money, it's generally emotional,
Okay.
because people who are the confidence that
Hmm.
are confident in their business, confident in
Hmm.
making decisions and
Hmm.
following through, are very
Hmm.
confident saying, "Hey, we've
Hmm.
got a big payment. Our client has not paid.
Hmm.
We're working it out with them. Do you mind? Can I push the payment to you back
Hmm.
15 days? Is that
Hmm.
okay?" Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
those people don't have that emotional baggage around money.
Hmm.
Um, so if there is some weirdness in a client relationship, um, again, I feel like approaching it positively and approaching it
Hmm.
proactively, um,
Hmm.
will because it you know because it's emotional. You need to go in
Hmm.
with empathy, right? You need to be
Hmm.
empathetic to help them open up and explain what's going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in their heads, but I would
Hmm.
assume it's some fear as well,
Hmm. Hmm.
or maybe it's a service problem. Maybe they're annoyed with what's going on, and they don't know how to tell you. And this is like the first, hint that the service is not meeting their expectations.
Hmm.
So so again, being proactive and being positive and
Hmm.
empathetic, you might not really see what's causing the problem. It might be something on your side too. So I
Sure.
think
Hmm.
I think
Hmm. Hmm.
that usually gets a very, it creates some action and usually gets a more favorable
Hmm.
response, or at least the conversation can be had under that.
Hmm.
I think if you get too angry right out of the gates, um, I don't think that's usually
Hmm.
very productive.
Hmm. 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 And many times I've seen that people also delay this conversation. So then, it just ends up into a friction rather than, as you said, being proactive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to do because nobody wants to. Um, this is not the part of the job that anybody
Yeah.
enjoys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they need to you know, get themselves in the right headspace before they go
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that way. So yeah,
Mm. Mm.
yeah.
Do you also look at, maybe whenever you are consulting to a client and you look at the, cash flows, and if you see that it's not really predictable, so, um, and one of the cause could be this as well, so how do you get into it, to solve this?
Where their cash flow is fine and they're still not paying. really, you're like really
No, I
feeling it.
would see that unpredictable cash flow. So cash flows is just going up and down every month, and then you wonder what's happening.
Yeah. We're like advisors to our clients, so we're on the front lines of that. So usually, and there's been times when the team would say, to our back office, don't, because we do ACH collection. Can you hold that? Can you hold that for the, for so and so, and just need a week or two, and we're happy doing that. Again, I think the bottom line here is understanding what your limits are. When do you take action? Is it, do you wait and see a little bit, see if you can solve it? Do you work with the team and say what's going on? Are we going to have some issues? Is their business, unhealthy right now? What do I need to know? What's changed? Sort of back channeling it through your own team, since they sort of see the front lines there, and then deciding what the best way forward is. The team that's working with them will actually probably have the best advice on what steps to take.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. And so in Levy, by any chance, do you solve this problem?
In Levy, do we solve that problem? Well, what's great about Levy is that we have tons of context, and yes, we have billing. So clients, we do client billing there. We have a lot of like client requests and communication. But I think what Levy gives us, which is the most powerful, is how much effort are we spending on this client, and how is that changing? Sometimes I can see a business that we're working with is struggling because the utilization of the team members has increased surprisingly, right? And that kind of visibility is really what makes it powerful for me as an owner, is getting the right kind of context around each client before I proactively initiate a conversation.
So maybe the client profitability easily.
Yeah, you can see the profitability, you can see the time spent on each workflow. There's notes, there's comments, and the work itself. All of that is in Levy, and easy to access. So you can kind of get a sense of what might be going wrong before taking any action. I feel like assumptions are one of those things that when you're working hard and you're moving fast and your days are packed, it's really easy to jump to conclusions and make assumptions about things. And trust me, I've done that a lot. So from like lesson learned, that again, having your firm have the kind of tools that it is constantly giving you the latest and most contextual information about the client engagements. It's less about like pay bills, it's less about each individual workflow. It's more about what are the conversations that are happening around this client work, what's changed since the previous 4 months. That's really, really important.
And do you have a project management tool inside as well, or it is only the client side of it?
Yeah, it's full workflow management. So it's all automated workflows and meetings and ad hoc tasks, and time tracking is embedded. So all the tools that we need, share drives, all that is actually in the work itself. So it's not in another section; it's actually right. So it makes it easy for the team to continuously build context, client knowledge, and have it be captured.
Sure. Yeah, cool. And Jeanne, so basically, have you also worked with any of the tools? Like, I'm sure there are a lot of tools now for the collections. Like chasers is there who will chase, or anchor is there where you can do advance payment, or a lot of tools are there. So do you suggest people who kind of owners who resist this difficult conversation, maybe this kind of a tools can help them to solve
Absolutely.
their cash flow management problems?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
We actually have Levy has an integration with
Oh.
Anchor. I think Anchor is
Hmm.
fantastic. I think Ignition is a great
Hmm.
product too.
Hmm.
Anchor has a very deep integration with Levy,
Hmm.
and tools like that
Hmm.
where engagement agreement
Hmm.
is very clear,
Hmm.
the legal text in it is very clear.
Hmm.
Um, the client chooses the package or
Hmm.
the service package that they want at the price that they
Hmm.
want to pay,
Hmm.
and as soon as they sign,
Hmm.
capturing that payment method
Hmm.
and locking that down is that's a huge benefit
Hmm. Hmm.
to firm owners,
Hmm.
and then having those collections happen
Sure.
every single month.
Hmm.
It really does save a lot of
Hmm.
it saves a lot of effort on the firm side having to send those invoices out every month,
Hmm. Sure.
but it does take the it almost like resets the conversation. It makes it much
Yeah.
clearer, like
Hmm. Hmm.
this is the agreement
Sure.
that you
Yeah.
signed,
Yeah. And
right?
it saves a lot of time in terms of talking collections and money and stuff like. We use Anchor, so we know how
Oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah, it really solves the problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's nice. It's nice to be able to outsource that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so we are coming to the final round of this thing. So, Jean. So, what is that couple of key pointers that would you like to talk to the firm owners? Who finds it very difficult to do any money conversations. So, your last
Yeah.
thought, maybe 2 or 3 key points. That they should be keeping in mind.
Well, and I think the most important thing is that your whole firm sees you as the leader, and they do tie a lot of you know the kind of future of the firm, the way the stability of the firm on how the leader manages money,
Mm.
how the leader talks about money,
Mm.
especially in this business.
Mm.
As an advisor, you should be the most confident person in the room
Mm.
to not only discuss it with your clients about their
Mm.
problems, but also help them become better at talking about money with their
Mm.
customers.
Mm.
So you're sort of leading by example.
Mm.
And I think that kind of self-awareness that, how I solve this
Mm.
is a reflection of not just myself as a leader, but it actually is a reflection of how well this firm is run.
Mm.
And that's going to set a great example
Mm.
for my team.
Mm.
And also, you know, you know, your clients,
Mm.
seeing it happen in such a formal and
Mm.
effective way.
Mm.
I think that's really one of the most important. Like you can't really dodge that. And one of the best ways that I've seen and experienced and sort of incorporated into my own way of managing it
Mm.
is to be very positive, to approach it in a very positive way, and really lean into the agreement and stick to it. If it's 60 days pencils down, it's 60 days pencils down. I don't know what else to tell you. This is our agreement, and then it's up to them. And if you're still having a hard time, then maybe they're not the client for you. But maybe it's also a moment that you could understand a problem that they're having and solve it for them. So, there could also be an opportunity for your firm to do more for them.
Sure. So thank you, Jean, so much. I think the key points that we take from you is that one is that when you are able to talk about money easily, that's the kind of a culture and the tone you will set as a leader, right? And then that reverberates in your team as well. So that really helps. Second, I think key points was it also solves the unpredictable cash flow. If you are able to enforce the policy, then you have a much more predictable cash flow, which will kind of build a good business model itself. Third, I think you talked about using tools like Anchor or Ignition, which really helps and solves the um, the agreement enforcement and payment system. So I think a lot of AR stuff really goes away from your system. Actually, it really automates the AR, and I think overall, what you said that it is mostly emotional, and that's why they are not able to talk, right? So there is nothing can be done, but you need to be positive and be proactive,
And proactive.
yeah, while talking, so that becomes a game changer for the whole thing. So thank you, Jean. This was really great points, and thank you for spending time with us. And it was just great speaking to you. Thank you for being here with us.
Great conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a great day ahead. Bye bye.